yeah, yeah, yeah. Oh, yeah. Mm, yeah. Born and dead, saved by love, count my blessings from above. Though in darkness, have no fear. Light will shine on those holding near. They know that sorrow they will pass. For I know in this life there will be something. But remember that love, yes it will. Love will reign. Yeah. Love will reign. Yeah. In my heart, I believe it. Love will reign. Oh, yeah. Yeah. Have a vision, it's clear and plain. People living life, smiling again. Oh, see the children, they know no pain. Far from pressure, stress and strain. Oh, sorrow, they will pass. For I know in this life there's gonna be some pain. But remember that love, yes it will. I know. Yeah. Love will reign. Gotta believe it. In my heart, I truly believe. Sun will shine again, and love, I can hardly wait. We'll all be together. There'll be peace, peace, sweet peace, happiness and joy forever. Oh, yeah. One day, someday, hate will be over and love will reign. They won't last, for I know in this life there's gonna be some pain. But in the end, love will reign. Yeah.
Love Will Reign. Thank you, Kiera Coleman Ward, for that wonderful song that we choose as an opening every week. He is an amazing artist, and I highly recommend getting Kiera Coleman Ward's music. This project is entitled Love Will Reign, and it is so fitting for our Love and Stuff community. So, good evening, good afternoon, good morning, depending upon where you are around the world. Thank you for joining us, Patricia Larkins, Michelle BK, and others. Whether you're watching us live from the Love and Stuff community page, the Marcus R. Holmes page, or any of the groups there are attached, Twitter, Twitch TV, YouTube events, we're excited that you are here, and we hope that you will click share and tag 5 of your closest Facebook friends, connections, or subscribers, 5 of the more popular ones, to join us today in what is a throwback. It does include replay content, but there are still so many of you in the inbox who are talking about getting back into the dating scene. So I wanted to pull from the archives a little bit more. And thank you for joining us. Inez Allen, thank you so much. I hope you will click share and tag someone to join us in this discussion. While we are getting ready for that, the Gratefulness Journey every day, what are you doing in the next 30 days, is available now. All proceeds for the next 60 days goes to help scholarship for Autumn Nicole Davis. Cora Fitch Williams is joining us. You can scan that QR code. All of the proceeds from the sale of the book in the next 60 days will go to help Autumn Nicole Davis, who is entering law school at Thurgood Marshall School of Law. And boy, how proud we are of her. So I'm hoping that you will click share right now, tag a few friends to join us. And I hope that you will get your copy. If you have already gotten your copy, get another one for someone else. And they will see there's an extraordinary value in the practice of gratefulness in a world where we have so much focus on the negative things. Why not use the power of positivity to transform your life and the lives of those around you? So that QR code, and we will revisit that a little later. And now we're going to go to some of the content that is some throwback content. But I'm so excited that you are here, because we're talking still about those that are re-entering the dating scene and different things that you try to navigate that are happening in the dating scene for you. So I hope that you will watch this and that you will enjoy it. And we will be back at points throughout just to continue the conversation. Consider yourself this person that wrote from the inbox to us, and I think you will enjoy it. But I want to welcome you back. Those of you that are just joining for the first time, welcome you to Love and Stuff. I'm your facilitator, not your host. I wanted to open with Ingrid Poole, who last week gained some advice. Let me put the disclaimer out there. I'm not a relationship expert. I have been almost married twice in my 47 years, only twice. So I can't say, I'm the relationship expert. June Rochelle Eaton has joined. Thank you. I have put together a number of couples. Thank you, June. Thank you, June. June is my friend from high school. We're going to be friends in heaven, and God's going to tell us, y'all go to 2 separate corners. The 2 of you cannot sit together. But I love you so much, June. I do. Shelrita Wilson, I'm not a relationship expert, but I have put together successfully probably 10 out of 14 couples. So that's my disclaimer. So if it doesn't work out, it's not because, but that's not really why I came here. I want there to be more love. I feel like I'm on an expressed assignment to give, show, share, be love. And so I think love and stuff, all of this other stuff around love comes into alignment. June, I'm trying to monetize it, but we got to talk afterwards. You might even help me. The love stuff comes into alignment after you get the relationship with God right. So you get your relationship with God right. You get your relationship with yourself right, because I don't think we have self-awareness of the relationship we should have after we identify who we are in God. And then you can have a relationship with other people, which includes peace, joy, trust, happiness, companionship, sex, all of those other things. So that's the mission I'm on, because I think our world is so devoid of love. There are young people out here doing all kinds of things, and I just really believe it's because they don't know God and they don't love themselves. I really find it hard to believe, unless there is some psychotic break or some mental health challenges that a person can go out and murder their own child, or murder their husband, or murder their wife, or murder their wife's children in front of them if they have the love of God. I just don't believe it. So it'd be hard for me to believe it. Amen. Good stuff. Love. Tasha Crown says, I should have married the person you matched me with. You sure? Film at 11, Tasha. I tried to tell you. Okay, Ingrid has joined. So Ingrid took some of my advice last week. She didn't go to the grocery store, but she met somebody outside of Five and Below. And what I've been trying to share with Ingrid about is her presentation. She is a funny, intelligent, creative person. I'm biased because I love her to pieces. But she's got all of these wonderful things, but she doesn't. Kim Carter has joined us. Thank you so much, Eastside. She has all of these wonderful things, but she's a Church of God in Christ born, kind of rigid, white stockings and white shoes and white doily kind of woman. Gloria Davis, happy belated birthday. Thank you for joining. And so what I told her is to soften that. You can't tell a brother, the blood of Jesus be on you if you're not saved. I'm going to lay hands before you lay hands. You can't do that. Hey, Rebecca Jones, you looked wonderful in that picture. We got to talk about your journey because you look fantastic. I hope all is well. LaShawn Phoenix Kotarian, my daughter is here. I love you. Mwah. So Ingrid took the advice. She didn't go to the grocery store, but she met a guy outside of Five and Below. And he's an undercover detective, which I'm not sure I should announce that, so I won't say his name. I'm not even sure I should say that much. But she softened her approach. Hey, sweetie. She softened her approach, and he gave her his number saying, well, just in case you need some help, which I thought was a good pickup line for a police officer. Hey, Cree Baker, thanks for joining. We're talking about Ingrid Poole's successful kind of meet. Now, he's lagging behind a little bit. Michelle Ballard has joined us. Thank you. He's lagged behind a little bit because he's not as communicative. But one of the areas that I think she made, not a mistake, but probably not the best choice initially, is she asked him, does he go to church? Kimberly Hall Wagner has joined. My dear sister. She asked him, does he go to church? Now, here's what I think you probably don't do in the first conversation. I don't think that you advance with a man, God, or with a woman, God. Tanisha Holmes, my niece, has joined. I understand him, but you didn't ask him. But unless he advances more about church and God, lay back. Because people of faith demonstrate their faith in how they interact with you. Latisse Douglas has joined. God, sex, or kids. All right, June, Rochelle. I agree to you to some degree. I do. I think that you do at the beginning, and this is just my thinking, you do not say sex, but I think you set some boundaries around sex. Ingrid, thank you for clarifying. He asked you first. I'm just concerned that if you get into your religious space, all of the things that you are and have been informed about religiousness, religiosity, whatever word, come out without you wanting them to. So you take a specific posture when you start talking about God. It might be the God-like quality in us, but I think we kind of want to show off and tell people how much our love for God is. And it can be intimidating if a woman or a man really loves God and someone else is really contending for the faith and is not there. That can be intimidating. That's why I want you to kind of just pump the brakes when it comes to the discussion. Almost let the discussion come out of how you behave. Now, some people will disagree with me, and that's just my perspective. Again, I'm not a relationship expert. I thank you, LaShawn. It can be too much. I do think, though, you do have to say, while I feel a strong chemistry, Rashida the Glam Dr. Williams joined. While I feel a strong chemistry, this relationship isn't going to be a sexual relationship this soon. Or I am not a person that immediately gets into sexual relations, or I'm looking for immediate sexual relations. I think in the first conversation, Cree Baker, plug in your phone, charge it while you talk to me. I think in the first, you need to set some context around the interaction. Good evening, Latisse. Some people don't want to do that, but I think it's important because from my experience in the 30s, 40s, and 50s, when men and women's libido was going like this, to me, you have to set some boundaries around. Alicia Bradford is joined. Tanisha is saying, what is too soon? Too soon, I think, is the first relationship, first date. Joy Bodford Greer, and you all can chime in. The first date, April Sheard is joined. The first date, you're saying, are you saved, sanctified, and filled with the Holy Ghost? I think that's early, the first date. It can be intimidating, man or woman, if one person is sold out for God and one person ain't selling nothing for God. You know what I'm saying? So I think you just let who you are in faith bleed into the conversation. You don't even have to say, yeah, I had a good time praising God Sunday. Oh, Kiando Bosheke. I don't think you have to do that. I think you just say, yeah, that's right. God is so good. Keep it moving. If you say, well, you go to church Monday through Friday, you have to say, yes, I do. I believe it's an expression of my faith. It's important for me to do. Keep leaving the conversation open because you don't want to run him or her off. Take your time with it. Be the Christian. Be the Bethlehem Israelite. Be whatever your faith is. Don't talk it so much. Just don't talk it so much. But in that first conversation, I think you do talk about sex. Because I think you need to let a man know this relationship is not companionship with sex. This is not friends with benefits. Especially if you met them online or at a gas station or at the light or at the grocery store, as I think I'm a big proponent of. Junior, correct. Open your discernment gifts. Thank you, Alicia. True. Just define the context of, I'm looking for something. I feel chemistry. I feel attractiveness, but I'm looking for something more than just sex. I believe that's in the first conversation. Now, I'm not sure that Ingrid has had a chance to get to that conversation because we will talk later that he's kind of running a little bit, but I think she put him on the run a little bit from our discussions. And again, I'm not a relationship expert. I wasn't not quite engaged, but I was going to be married twice. Didn't get married either time. One time, yes, Tanisha, I'm saying talk sex before religion because the other person might not have religion. And you have to be open. If you are strong enough in your faith, you can draw somebody to Christ and be in relationship with them. So they don't have to even believe in God because you ought to be God enough that they can meet you and be drawn to that place in a relationship. Because everybody's looking to have this for God. But what you need to have for God is belief. You're going to have different measures of faith. So those aren't going to always balance. Brian Johnson has joined us. I'm trying to catch up with some of the comments. June said, I agree. Oh, no. In the world, would I discuss that on the first date? Once you set that conversation, then the rule's out, folks. Correct. EBH, church stuff. I'm not sure what EBH is. You'll help me out. Yes, yes. You were getting married twice. Yes, Rashida, I was. I was going to marry Angela. Yes, I was. That's who I wanted to marry. We were far too young to do it. And I think she was ready for sex in the relationship before I was. I'm putting her on blast. She's not even on here. And that didn't go well. Because as you know, at that time, I was celibate and trying to live. Not that I'm not celibate and trying to live for God now, but I was really celibate then. And I didn't even really listen, as you know, to music. In the 90s, I didn't really know any hip hop or rap songs or any of that music because I wasn't into it at all. And I was certainly doing that because I thought it was the right thing to do. And I wanted to marry Angela and I wanted to keep myself. I wasn't a virgin, but I wanted to keep myself for marriage. That was my plan. And she was a little bit more ready because I am fine and I understand that. And I am a homes man and any homes man understand what that means. And so I understand that she was ready to go forward. You know, you're right, June. If you talk religion and then have sex, you did just blow it. Sex is not a conversation I'm having on first date. If he does that, this is the last date. Well, I'm sorry for you, Kenyatta. You have just moved out a bunch of men who have the right to know, is this companionship and sex only friends with benefits or do you want more? And if I'm a man and I want one of those three, I'm man enough to say that to you without being offensive. Sorry, that's how I feel about it. I don't think that you beat around the bush because if I meet you and I only want to have sex with you, I owe it to you to tell you that. If I meet you and I want to have friends with benefits and I don't want to wait until we're serious, I owe it to you to say that. And if I want to wait until we're going to be serious, I should be man enough to say that. That's just me. And if you're saying, you're mentioning sex and you say, pay the check, I'm glad you're leaving too. Because we are adults and we should be having the conversations that set the framework for our relationship. That's just how I feel. I don't think I should be cunning and sly. I should let you know I feel strong chemistry or I barely feel chemistry, so we could be friends. I think you need to know that up front. I'm sorry, Rashida. I will apologize to Angela, but we were in our 20s. We're not the same people we were then. I'm sorry. Hey, Tracy, Trey Lynn, the artist. Forgive me, Tracy, for saying Tracy. I know you got a brand and you're Trey Lynn, the artist. I'm sorry. Sorry about that. Sometimes I say the name that comes to my mind. I was trying to do that with Kimberly Hall Wagner earlier. So we want to encourage Ingrid to lay back a little bit, give him some space. And I think this brother, if he really has an interest in you and he wanted more than just sex, because you said you had on stockings, but I'm not sure. But if he wants more than just sex, he'll be back. Give him a minute. So I'm serious. Give him a minute. So you're in a relationship and we talked about dating and we're still talking about dating, right? You get into a relationship with somebody, you're getting to know them. Let's say a couple of months have passed by and you know that they have children and they have children by at least 2 baby mamas or 2 baby daddies, or we'll say 1. At what point are there ground rules that should be set in the dating about the parent of those children? Should you leave that alone? Should you have met the children by now to make sure that they exist? What do you say about dating and relationship where you know children exist, but you haven't met them and you know that there is at least a baby mama or baby daddy situation? And this is someone you're trying to get more serious with. You're trying to become more intimate with, close, not necessarily sexual, but trying to become more close with. This is one of the topics straight out of the inbox. So I got people here, but now I don't see any comments. So I hope I didn't do something wrong. Keep talking to me. Give me some likes so I know that you're there. Likes, please. Okay, I got 1 like. Okay. So someone please let me know. You're in a relationship. It's been going for at least 2 months. Thank you. Thank you. Got more likes. Good. I'm glad you all still here. I freaked out for about 5 seconds. Thank you. Keep those likes coming. Thank you. Thank you. I freaked out for about 5 seconds. What do? You're in a relationship for 2 months or more. And there are children that you have never met. And there's at least 1 baby mama or baby father. You're interested in taking this to the next level. Are there ground rules that you set about interactions with the baby mother, baby father? Are there ground rules about the children that you set? What are the ground rules around dating? I'm getting tons of likes now. Thank you. You can keep those likes coming. I love them. But I need you to kind of start talking to me a little bit. Tell me, what are the ground rules? Are there ground rules? Should you have met the children if you've been dating somebody for 2 months? I'm getting likes and likes and likes, but I'm not getting... Now, on my own show, I know that I'm not having technical difficulties. Somebody respond and say something so I'll know that somebody can say something, because I'm seeing no responses, and I saw Willie Rogers likes, bunches of them. But now it's not frozen. It says I'm live, but I don't see your comments, which means I'm the only one talking in a room full of a bunch of people, and that's kind of different unless I'm teaching. So can someone respond? Just say here. Something is not going right. See, I'm getting likes again from Willie Rogers, bunches of them. And someone else is going, oh, wow. but I can't see any responses. And someone is laughing. Someone is sending hearts. But I'm not getting any messages. Someone type something. If you don't type something, I'm going to assume that something went wrong, and I'm going to have to restart, refresh your screen. There are so many responses, Dad. Okay, I don't know how to refresh my screen without jacking it up. How do you refresh the screen? What is this button? I'm about to press something, and I'm not sure which button it is to refresh the screen. Okay. What button was that? I can't see you. You're talking. Somebody is calling me. I don't know what just happened. I want to get to know him much more. Okay, now I got one response. Okay, I got responses finally. I'm having technical difficulties. Okay, it came up. Okay. Oh, I need to uninstall these comments. Wait. Okay, we've been responding, Dad. I got to go back. Oh, I missed about 11 comments. Oh, okay. Let me slow it down. Oh, this is hilarious. Oh. As you can see, this is some replay content. It's a throwback, but I'm looking at the comments because I'm watching live as well. Kim Carter, Eastside, thank you for joining us. Taj Crown, Robinson, Michael Thornton, all of you that are Dolores, Michelle Archibald, thank you all for joining. And I'm just coming through these comments. So you agree. I highlighted Michael's comment. If you all are serious about these other or each other, I think, yes, there should be some introduction sooner or later, and you have to let each other know when that's going to be, because a lot of people out here playing games. I think you raise a great point, Mike. You got to be careful with who you introduce to your children, baby daddies and everybody else. Carl Morris joined us. Thank you so much. Click share. Tag 5 of the people that are connected to you. 5 are the ones more popular. This does include replay content, but I'm going to stop it at points and come back and talk, because I think it is still aligned with what we've been talking about, getting back into the dating scene. And I think it's important when you're back in the dating scene, how you navigate with baby mama, baby daddy, and children is important. Eastside, that's Kim Carter, who we love, says, for me, it's timing. All should be on the same page and ready to do so. I think that's excellent. Only rules are respect. Okay. All right. I should try to get you in to get a little bit more elaboration on that. I'm going back into some of the replay content because I want to hear your continued feedback. I'm with you in the comments, and I hope you will do me a favor. Click share. Tag 5 folks who you know are on the dating scene. 5 that are across all of these platforms, on YouTube, Twitch TV, Twitter, here on Facebook, both on the Marcus R. Holmes page or any page connected, and of course, where we emanate from the Love and Stuff community page. I want to ensure that we get as broad a perspective on it and get your thoughts in as well. So as I go back to the content, I'm hoping you'll click and share, and we'll continue to track your comments in the comments relative to, okay, how long after you start dating and you feel chemistry and you like somebody and you think it's going in the right direction, do you introduce them to your children? Do you have a conversation with your baby mama or baby daddy about who's being introduced to the children? I want to hear from you in the comments. Tanisha says, things you didn't tell your family. Who is Angela? That's not true, Tanisha, because your grandmother knew her. Tammy, Felix, all of them know her. I don't know where you were. Christopher Jordan joined. Letitia's laughing. June said, that's why we love you, funny. Kenyatta said, oh, Jesus. Sharice Hurley joined. Willie Rogers laughing. Tish Taylor joined. Pam Caldwell joined. Oh, what is the topic? Tish Taylor said, bluff, bottom up, line front. Exactly. As adults, we should be able to have an open discussion. Letitia said, absolutely. Kenyatta says, Joy, do you know me? But you won't get the chance to talk to me again. I'm just saying. Oh, okay. LaShawn said, my husband and I spoke and had sex on the first date. I hold out. LaShawn, I don't want to know that. We're 6 years married, 8 years in. I didn't go into it with that intention, but the candor up front set us on a great path. I'm just saying. I learned so much today. Setting the framework for relationships is the topic today. Thank you, June. Hello, Tish Taylor. Watch it, JC Haynes. Sandy Hudson joined. You joined, Sandy, but you never say anything. I love you, though. Hello, JC Haynes. Watch it, Tish Taylor. Too loaded. Tanisha said, there's no need to introduce maybes to the babies. Maybes to the babe. Oh, okay. Don't introduce, but is 2 months a maybe still, Tanisha? That's what I want to find out. First, you got to be clear on if you want kids. But they already have kids. Tamiko joined. I didn't see you join. Marcus, I can do more than one baby mama. You can do 3 baby mamas? Joy said, the thought of introducing the kids too soon, I'm not too sure about. What is too soon? That's what I'm trying to find out. I agree with Tanisha. Then you got to talk about that up front. Not long enough. 2 months is not enough time, June is saying. Forgive me, I'm catching up, y'all. You good, bro. We are listening. Dating when children exist. Children should not get introduced in a relationship once a relationship is established. Relationship filled with potential and positive possibilities. How long, Jeremy? Jalitha Staley Stewart joined. So proud of Kevin Jr. No, 2 months is too soon to get an intro. Okay, thank you, Tanisha. Group outings with kids is good. Okay, Ingrid, define that for me a little bit. I'm catching up. I'm probably about 10 more comments, I hope. Nope, that's kind of soon. 2 months is way too soon, Sharice Hurley said. Thank you for that. June said, no meeting until you guys are on the same page. It differs per situation. Thank you, June. Yes, ground rules. Thank you, Joy. Willie said, no, you will eventually meet them. Tasha Robinson already met his children. Uh-oh, Tasha, you got an inbox, man. I didn't know you was dating. Rebecca Jones, Steve Harvey said something, I agree. Why pour 6 months into a relationship to find a man doesn't like them and he doesn't mesh with them? So how long, Rebecca? That's a good point. Tanisha said, I don't meet his children unless we have a possibility. Kids get hurt too readily. What's the possibility? What if you're like LaShawn and you had a possibility after date number 1? Because clearly she had some possibility. We've been responding, Dad. Thank you. 2 months is kind of soon. Tiffany Thunderberg joined. We can hear you and see you. Thank you, Carmen. JC Haynes joined. Alicia said it's hard to gauge, but if you're on the path to seriousness, 2 months may be early, in my opinion. Can't set ground rules just yet, but have a discussion about how the person you're dating and the child's... Okay. Somebody text Marcus. June, they did. They got me finally. I commented here. There are lots of responses. Thank you, Marion Gates, for joining. Something happened technically to me. I'm trying to get in the best spot and it didn't work. I wouldn't want to meet a woman's kids until I've developed feelings. But Mr. Hernandez, could you develop feelings very quickly? Willie Rogers here. You meet the kids once we establish a serious relationship. I better just scroll down so I can catch up. You're already there. Alicia said, I dated a guy, and after 3 to 4 months after we discussion on exclusivity, then I met his kids. Hello, I hear you. Okay, thank you. We are commenting. It is hilarious. I know you all are laughing at me. Natasha Little joined. Tamika Perry Cooper joined. Thank you for joining. Sabrina joined. My cousin. June, yeah, dating for 2 months is too soon. Yes, 2 months is way early. I'm really just going through the... Paul Chester joined. Talking to June. Sharice Hurley said, at least this should be 6. I think this is funny. This guy funny. I like this guy. Funny. Thank you, I think. 6 months if that wasn't clear. Okay, I think I'm caught up. So we're somewhere beyond 2 months for the most of you. I'm trying, Alicia. I'm just trying. I got to have somebody who can be the camera person in case it goes wrong. I'm trying to build this platform where we have a perspective, judgment-free. Not every church is having this perspective where married young couples are talking, or the older married couples are mentoring young couples and singles, or singles ministries are thriving. And people that I've been talking to want love, but they want it in different variations, or at least as they see love. I just want a platform where we can get our alignment right, and then we can talk about all of the perspectives and see if those perspectives are worth pursuing or keeping a position on. Tanisha says, not a possibility. No, a possibility is when we see a future we can actually get to know, not just infatuation stages. But I can't say that because I'm married in 6 months. June, we're going to have you and your husband on. That would be good to do. Meet the kids. It takes me months to let a guy know where I live, let alone meeting my kids. Right. LaShawn said, I'm not sure what she was saying that to, but that was poetically said. June said, call me when we are doing this at my shop next week. We're going to do it at your shop. We're going to do a Rashida studio. I got some events. I just need the space, but I also need your help. Tamika Edwards joined. Joyce Martin joined. So we're talking about how much time before these introductions happen to children, baby daddies, and baby mamas. And 2 months was too soon for mostly everyone in here. 6 months seems to be pretty good. So, and some people say it depends on the situation. Crystal Yvonne joined. Thank you. It depends on the situation. It could be as soon as 2 months, or in LaShawn's case, I would imagine if one of them had kids and they were having sex, and they got married after that, it might be sooner. Are there ground rules? So let's just say it's 5 months in. We haven't made it 6 months. But we're ready to take the relationship to an exclusive level. And I don't know if women all the time understand this. I'm going to just venture to say about 75%, maybe more, of men can be dating multiple women, and the woman thinks she's exclusively the one that's being dated. But there comes a point where a man will close his black book down and date exclusively a woman. I don't know if the women are doing the same thing, if you're dating multiple guys and he thinks that he's the only one, and at some point you are exclusively. LaShawn says they rush a nigga into relationships with no real guidebook or mentors that aren't being extra deep. What you're doing is dope. Thank you, LaShawn. You were saying right about the churches. I don't want to, it's not an indictment on the church though. Church is what God has in this world to save it and to demonstrate his love. He has not given that mandate to anyone else. That's my belief, that you're supposed to be a part of an assembly, and the plan is that you're supposed to impact your community and your family. So those of you that aren't living in a community, shame on you. You're supposed to be impacting the people around you with God's love, as the early church did. Tanisha, I don't know if they don't know that, or I think if a woman meets a man and he gives a number and they're talking and they go out once or twice a week, she begins to believe that she is the only one without having the conversation to say, hey, are we dating exclusive? And I think that you should be having that conversation. I've been dating X person for 5 months, so what we got going on isn't quite serious, but it's sexual. I mean, I think you should be saying that if that's what's happening. Well, men are players, but women are some of the biggest players. They play all bases. That's the difference. Men don't always play all bases. Come on, bases. Come on. Hello, Teresa Smith. Come on, bases. Women play all bases. Men play some bases. Women can play girlfriend. They can play wife. They can play mama. They play first, second, shortstop, outfield. Men like to hit. They like to bat. Come on, they like to bat the ball. Come on now. Come on with me. Come on. Come on, bat. Come on, bat the ball. That's what men like to do. Men will catch. Men will pitch. They might go to different bases, but they don't like to play all bases. Most men don't like to play father. They will play father, but they won't play father and then play catcher. A lot of times they play father, but they won't have your back. You know what I'm saying. You get the point. Women specialize in playing all these roles. Oh, you just really want a side chick? I know how to play my role with you, but I'm the wife to boo. But I'm the girlfriend to bae. Women are, Kimberly, you're right. Some are switch hitters. They do. Yes, you're right. I may have missed your point, Willie Rogers. I done went on a preaching rampage on another point. Men play offense and defense, Tanisha, sometimes, but they typically don't play them both. Women do. Cheryl Swacker O'Neill joined. Thank you. Leticia, correct. Women settle too quick. Well, that's because you're playing so many bases. So if this guy fulfills this need, but this guy fulfills that need, and have you ever been, women, give me some likes if you said, if he could just be like him in this way, or if I can put the two of them together. Have you ever said that, women? Have you ever said that? Give me some likes if you've ever said that. He faithful and he go to work all the time, but he don't never have no money, but he better at sex. You wish that this one person, three people could be merged into one. June says the right man plays all the bases and he's your husband. He's your husband. A man that plays all the bases is a woman's husband. Trust me. If a man is doing all the things, a woman nets him and she marries him. She's no fool. A man that's going to do all, he going to rub your toes and suck your toes and cook your dinner and pay your bills and be your girlfriend, like friend who you can tell all your secrets to and watch the ball game and have a beer. You married him. Ain't none out there like that. Y'all married him. You marry him. A man that plays all the bases, you marry him. You will marry him. He does this, he does that. He cuts the lawn, he fixes stuff around the house, and he takes my clothes to the cleaners, and he runs my bath, and I can tell him all my secrets. Come on. A man that plays all the bases, he my boyfriend and my boo and my best friend. You marry him. But a man is different. He's different. He will, as Willie said, play the field certain positions until he gets a revelation on love. It takes sometimes men a little longer to get that revelation. LaShawn said, that's why I smashed and married Dad. I locked that nigga down. I'm done with you, LaShawn. I got to scroll back and get a few of the comments. Yes, I'm reading. That's why you date until you encounter one, unless you're a woman who plays as many bases as he does. Film at 11, Tanisha. Side piece, but wants wife benefits. Bingo. You got to know when to hold them and know when to fold them. Sing it, Sandra Spencer Ward. Go on in A flat. I can't do it. Amen. Teresa Smith said many times, I wish I could have put different qualities together. Yep. Toe sucking, oh my God. Walter Davis, I'm just going to say what that, yes, that's what that was. That's what and you know what I'm saying. But as you get older, it should not take you too long to detect. I'm just saying. The man has to ask. Kenyatta, I don't agree with that, but you have the right to wait for the man to ask. Annette said you the love doctor, bro. Well, that's what Ingrid's daughter said, that I'm like Will Smith and Hitch. Disclaimer, I'm not the love doctor. I don't have a degree in love. I'm not a love expert. I am just an agent who I believe is assigned to try to evoke more love in the world. Because that's what I think is wrong. People don't love God. They don't understand love. They don't love themselves. They're not in love with themselves. And then they can't love others. Monique is playing the role with Jump Off Access. Well, Monique, tell them to join next week so that they can all join at the same time. Ooh, Latice said, LaShawn is crazy. You know LaShawn's still crazy, Trey Lynn. She's still crazy. But she's my daughter and I love her. It is real talk. I am an agent to spread love. And the real talk is, I think, people are looking for love that looks like they love the love they identify with, without being open to know that love, even though God never changes, our understanding of him does, because we see more of him. The same with love. You really don't learn about the faithfulness part of love until you're exposed to it. And so we have to deepen our experiences in love, even when we're only used to playing two bases. Monique Thomas says, you're the male version of Iyanla, fix my life. Well, can you talk to Oprah? See, why am I here? Why? No, I'm teasing. I love. So I see the comments going, where are we? And this is replay content that we are including in a continued discussion that's happening around getting back into the dating scene. So what happens to Tiffany Funderburg's point, and I'm so glad you're here, and Eastside, Kim Carter, who I call Eastside, she calls me Westside, Beatrice, all of you, Rashida, click share, tag 5 people to join us, 5 of your more popular friends, 5 people who are looking for love. If you are in a relationship, or go back to when you were, because Tiffany, you're happily married, Taj, happily married, all of you that are happily married, go back to that point. If you were in a relationship, that's right, she's East Side, I'm West Side. Go back to, you were in a relationship with somebody, how long do you need to be in relationship with them, if there is a ground rule or time by which you would determine they can meet your children, they can meet the baby mama or baby daddy. Now, there are a lot of factors, right? If you got a crazy baby mama, crazy baby daddy, you might have to weigh that in, right? If you are getting really serious, like in this live, LaShawn was really serious with her husband right away, you might have a different time frame. But we're trying to gauge how much time do you go into the relationship before you let someone meet your kids. And I got a lot of inbox from my position, because people were saying, hey, even in this live, Rashida was saying, oh, you was going to get married to Angie. I was going to, twice in my life, I was going to get married. I abandoned that thought some years ago, Film at 11. We probably should have a whole show about that. But 2 months in, which is what was happening in the inbox, is kind of soon to be meeting somebody. even if you've fallen in love very quickly. To me, because I guess I would be considered someone who has the Napoleon complex, maybe. But I'm pretty aggressive when it comes to that. I think very early in, you're going to talk about ground rules, which will include sex and children. And shortly after, you're going to have a conversation about your faith consideration. Those are big things to me that you would have conversation around. Not everybody else. I got a lot of inboxes from people saying, "What? You don't talk about sex on the first date." I don't say you don't talk about having sex necessarily, but you set the ground rules and say, there's a strong attraction. We got a strong chemistry. And I think that's going to lead to sex. Or you say, we got a strong chemistry, but we're not going to have sex until this is very serious. Or you say, we're going to go with the flow and whatever happens, happens. But I think you set a boundary. Now, a lot of men won't set the boundary as upfront as I just did, but they're in their action setting that boundary. And if that boundary is set early on and it's not something that you feel comfortable with around sex or religion or your constitution, the direction your life is going based on the set of rules and beliefs you have, you might spend longer time holding them back from meeting your children. And that's where I got. That's where I landed. So I'm going to touch the comments and go back to that comment to the content. You all were enjoying the content, I think, more than me. So I'm going back to it, though it was me. Beatrice says, I believe love must be vertical first, then horizontal. I believe that too. Now, so Beatrice, I want to ask this question before I go back to the replay content, because it came up in the replay content. I think earlier on we talked about it. What do you do when you have a vertical relationship, but you're meeting someone who's never had that vertical relationship? And how do you navigate the set of conversations where you're attracted to somebody, you're compatible with somebody, but you have a stronger vertical awareness and relationship than he or she does? In your case, he does, and somebody else, she does, however that goes, right? So how do you deal with that? And Tiffany said it's strictly based on what the relationship is. Okay. And that's an important point, Tiffany, because sometimes it's been my experience, and you help me out, you're married, that one person is having a different relationship than the person that they're in relationship with. Have you ever heard of that before? Sometimes someone's having I hear you. I also believe that, Beatrice, with your drawing self, you might draw somebody with love and kindness and beauty, and he might come to know Jesus, right? And maybe you might be open to that journey because it might take them a little longer than the average person. I'm not saying you're going out to get a thug, save me a thug, Jesus, save one. I'm not saying that, but you might meet somebody who is available to Jesus, just not awakened to him. And by your witness, he may be drawn into the faith and he might be the person for you. That could happen. That was part of the conversation we had. I don't care how long we have been dating or how serious we intend to be. No one is meeting my child until I did a thorough background check. That was a whole nother show. I'm gonna find it for you, Tiffany, so that you can comment on that. We talked about people running background checks and ways that you might find out about people without going to iChat. But I think it is important that you have some clarifying conversations. I think it's fair. Yeah. I think it's fair because I think that there are people, Beatrice, that are going to meet a mate who does not know God and who is going to find out who God is by the life that the person who professes to know God lives. And that's, how a lot of people are evangelized, right? It isn't so much what we say. I was saying, because this started when I was coaching. Again, I'm not a licensed coach. I'm not taking over the territory of our dear brother, deceased Kevin Samuels, not doing that. But I am a love activist. I believe that if somebody wants love, it's my job to advocate for them to get it, and advocate first for them to get the vertical part that Beatrice is talking about. But I think it's important that I kind of lost my thought in there, but I think it's important that people be open. Because one of the things is that we only think that we're going to see love where we're going to see it. And if, as Christians, our only option is to find another Christian for the purpose of marrying at the time that we meet them, that they're going to be a Christian, we might be locking ourselves out of some opportunities. Now, if you're going to be with somebody that isn't a Christian and you're Christian, which is a slightly different conversation, you better make sure that you are a Christian because they're going to try your Christianity, right? And they're supposed to, right? Your faith is supposed to be tried. It's supposed to be tested, and you work out your faith, work out your salvation with fear and trembling. It's going to be tested. It's going to have some bumps in the road. So if you say, well, I want a Christian man that's going to do this and do this, I think if I can get people as a love activist to be open that that man today might not be all of those things, and he may becoming all that you are becoming, some of those things may grow in importance or lessen to be the person that you're matched up with. All right. Absolutely. Men tend to be more honest and upfront about their expectations, and women won't always set boundaries about our expectations. Great point. We will go with the flow or assume relationship is how we feel and not what we see. I think I was talking about coaching somebody. That's where it got lost. But Tiffany, I think you're right when you say go with the flow. And I think a lot of times when you go with the flow and then you abruptly stop the flow, you confuse the guy who didn't say just go with the flow, but his actions are telling you go with the flow, right? So some men are showing you right up front that my intent is for us just to hang loose and go with the flow. Now, for some men, that is to see if you're crazy, if you're lazy, if you got a broke mentality. A man likes an industrious woman. Whether or not you're the boardroom woman that can make her housework and make him want to get up and go to work for her is an industrious woman. And that's not a person, I don't mean broke, you don't have any money. I mean broke mindset. I hope that came across. A man typically doesn't want a woman that's lazy, that's just going to lay up and do absolutely nothing all day long and call him all day. I just had a gentleman doing some moving work at the job, and he said, can you believe that my wife has called me 6 times and she know I'm working? I said, that sounds like she doesn't have anything else to do but to love you. He said, I like that, but I need her to have something else to do. I said, when's the last time you told her that? He said, I ain't starting no arguments. I want my food to be, I want the house to be clean, but that ain't it either. I said, you got to have a clarifying conversation about how this relationship should be, right? So a man doesn't typically want, and I am generalizing, so I apologize if there are men said, absolutely not. Most men don't want a lazy woman, and most men doesn't want a woman who acts crazy. Now, we're in Mental Health Awareness Month, so I'm not going to say crazy, right? Having a psychotic break, some clinical definition. I mean, people who just behave all kind of ways, and you're like, this girl is crazy. That's what I mean by that. Typically, the average man wants a peaceful home. He doesn't want a home full of drama, right? And so it's important that you see up front where a man is showing you that this is what I want and this is what I'm about. And if you go with the flow, like Tiffany said, and don't set boundaries, he's already shown you, and he's confused, though he might not be as verbal as I am saying it, but he's confused that you aren't going with the flow anymore because the flow no longer works for you. All right. Going back to the content, click share. I want to get the content in because I think it was a good piece, and I want to keep the conversation going, especially because we have happily married women here, and hopefully we can get their husbands in on the conversation, and single women and men that are happily single, but who might have space in their life for the next level. And I know some people say, I ain't dating nobody with a baby mama. I ain't dating nobody with a baby daddy. I'm going to say, don't close yourself off to that. Just navigate it differently depending on the set of circumstances that come together for you. Just ensuring that there is a lot of conversation and understanding. Stay tuned. We'll be right back. Here, but I will take it. Now, don't get me wrong. Talk to Oprah. I won't be like Monique. I won't say those things that she said. June said, this is good. Keep it up. Got to feed the kids. Much love. Thank you. Realize love is not fairy tales, but Latice, is it the start of a vision of what you've been told that love is until you try it? That's what God is, right? People paint God as this Caucasian man with long hair who sits on a throne somewhere far off and just determines what happens. And until you try him to see who he is and what his character is like, you will live out that fantasy, that fairy tale. But God has for you a dream, a fairy tale to come true of a personable, palpable relationship with him, with yourself, and with others. And until you experience that and shift your thinking, your constitution, which I call is your internal unwritten document, but it's internal, until you begin to challenge that, you don't really deepen your meaning of love. So for some of us, that is what it is. That's what it is. It's a fairy tale until we realize, like June has realized, you can have a man who plays all the bases. Until you challenge what you believe about bases and what you believe about who has what roles, you may never get to that realization. LaShawn says, Traylon, I'm not going to be fake about how unorthodox my love went down. I'm grateful, we're covered and blessed and happy, but we're out there, hold out, and we found love in the broken places. Thank you for that. Tisha Marie joined. Thank you for joining. Oh, baby, you know I know LaShawn. Tisha Johnson joined. Thank you so much, Tanisha. And people have shared the video. Great. There are broken and hurt women that need to be loved out of their pain. The hurt has caused many to change their perception of love. Men the same, but I want you to get a revelation on it so that you're not trying to love hurt. Because hurting people tend to hurt other people, even though they might be trying to love other people. Love you, little brother. Got to get ready for if loving you is wrong. Okay, thank you so much. I am right here, been broken, but God is mending. Tisha said, hey, Tish said, I'm not going to find what my parents got. The clothes my father came from doesn't. No, that's not true, Tish Taylor. I'm not going to experience what you're talking about, Marcus. That's you won't if you say you won't. But there are men out here who you can marry and stay married to forever who plays all the bases. I agree with LaShawn. You got to work all the hurt out first. Tish Taylor, why won't you? But he will find you. Well, I think Jeremy's trying to find you, Tish, and no matter how many brakes I try to pump, I think this brother is going to be in Detroit soon. I think he's going to be in Detroit soon. And I'm not putting the two of you together because I don't feel led to put the two of you together. I'm not saying you shouldn't be together. I'm saying Jeremy on the inside down deep is a good brother. You got to travel through some navigation to get to that, but he's a good brother. Now, to that extent, I'm vouching for him. Beyond that, I'm not. I don't want you to come back to Love and Stuff and say he was a dog from hell. I don't think he is. I'm saying he is a brother who wants more than just sex. Now, I didn't say he don't want sex. I'm saying he wants more than just sex. And I think you'll find a good brother after you navigate through a few things. I'm keeping it real. I'll put him on blast, but he got to put on blast because he keeps talking about Tish Taylor. And Tish Taylor asked about him. And so I have to say, hey, let me just, put you on notice. I'm just saying. Tish Taylor, sweet as she want to be, but she done built up this exterior like, I knock a nigga out. Excuse me for using that word that LaShawn loves to use. But she has that same thing that I was talking about Ingrid having earlier. Women put this wall up because they've been hurt, and then man... No, that's not true, Rashida. You do recall the time, and Tracy's in here, and she can tell you. When Tracy was pregnant, and Tracy was concerned about Roger, her husband, and his sexual needs, I, in rehearsal, told her about how to meet her husband's needs. So it's not that I won't talk about it. It's that maybe some people weren't as open to hearing it from me back then as maybe they are now. It just seems to flow. It might be, but if you think about some of the conversations we've had, I've delved deeply into some stuff. I think you just weren't positioning yourself to hear that from me, and certainly you kept some things away from me, but I'm with you. Tanisha said hers is the tilling the yard of your heart so that the soil is ready for planting a future harvest. Work the hurt so you can start anew. That could be. Tanisha, that sounds good. That could be. That could be. Certainly hurt could also be a pattern of behaviors that we ignore. So you've been hurt because you put yourself in a position by a pattern of behaviors. But I get your point, and well thought of. Tish is not on blast as much as Jeremy was. I was blasting Jeremy because he's asked about Tish a couple times and kind of, slid in some Tish comments in there. And so I had to go with him and let him know, I'm right here with you, bro, and I will have to wreck you about Tish. But he's a good guy who's looking for love and who's willing to play more than one base. I don't know about all the bases, but he's a good guy. You navigate through some things, you might get there. That wasn't the topic, but I had to slide that in there because it slid. We really never got to talking about ground rules, baby mama ground rules, baby daddy ground rules, children ground rules. So after the 6 months, 5 months elapse and you meet the children, you meet the baby daddy, baby mama, are there ground rules for the boo or bae? Meaning, can the boo or bae correct your children? What kind of interaction should he or she have with your children? Do you run that by the baby mama, baby daddy? Does he or she get to meet the baby mama, baby daddy? What's around their interactions? Are there any ground rules? And Tish, I hope that you don't feel on blast tonight. Monique said, men and women have let their experiences in the valley change their hearts, and it's not for the better always. There is value in every valley experience. All that we have been through was definitely necessary. Okay? Elena said, what is Uncle Marky talking about? She shouldn't be listening to love and stuff at this age. Marcus, you and I have had these combos. Oh, okay. I'm confused, Rashida, but I'm going to get an inbox revelation. I agree, Tish Taylor said. Tisha Johnson said. LaShawn said, I agree the pattern could be a sign that you need to do something different. Thank you. Lori Wesby joined. Thank you so much. Tish, I can't wait to hear about you and Jeremy next week. They're not going to be a next week discussion. The blood of Jesus. Come on, blood. Rashida. I don't believe need to meet the kids until they're staying the night in the other person's presence. Wait. Let me stop, Tanisha. I don't believe need to meet until kids are staying the night in the other person's presence. Are you saying that the kids should stay the night with your boo or bae? That's how they meet? I'm not sure I'm reading that correctly. So can you clarify that? I'm not reading right. I don't believe need to meet until kids are staying the night in the other person's presence. I'm not sure if you're saying that the first time that your kids would meet the guy is if he's staying with you. They might not be worthy of an introduction. That's true. And I was trying to get a clear timeline, Lorna, and thank you for joining, of when. 6 months? Too soon? If Boo is at her house overnight, well, I didn't know Boo stayed overnight for the first meeting because I don't know if that's the first time that you meet the kids when you spend the night. I don't know. I'm not sure I agree with that so much. I think maybe there's a family outing to Chuck E. Cheese, to a movie. I think they get to see him outside the setting of the house and he sees them outside the setting of the house. I don't believe there's a need to meet the other parent unless the kids are... Oh, thank you, Tanisha, for clarifying. You mean the baby mama, baby daddy. They don't need to meet at all. Okay. I think it's important to meet the co-parent, even if they're crazy as F, LaShawn. It's respectful. F is right before it's respectful. I like your poetic justice. And it shows a desire to at some point join in a healthy co-parenting situation. I agree, LaShawn. But meeting the co-parents should happen. I agree. I think I've reared you right. No, I'm teasing, but I agree. I agree, LaShawn. Good, Rashida. I'm glad you agree. Teresa Smith, yes, a family outing first. I'm with that, Teresa. I think there should be some neutral ground that everybody meets and the kids get to watch him and say, you're kind of cuckoo, mama. Because kids will tell you the truth on what they think. And sometimes we discount what children say, but they're telling you from the sincerest place just what they see. And sometimes they see more clearly and succinctly than we do as adults. And so you take them around kids saying, I don't like him. Why? I say, yes. Are they long-term after you've had sex with them? Or that's just meeting your needs? Are they long-term after you all have decided we're going to date each other exclusively? Or that's just the beginning? What are some of the signals of long-term? That you'll know, now it's time for you to meet the children. Or do you hold off meeting the children because you got bad children? Does anyone do that? Like, my kids are something else. Now, Teresa says 2 years. I don't think I could date you for 2 years, Teresa, and not meet your kids. Because I need to know, are they bad? Do they go to school every day? Can they read? Do they steal? I need to know. Long term after we've decided we're exclusive and we profess love, for you is day number 2. No, I'm sorry, LaShawn. I had to beat you up later. 2 years or longer, Teresa Smith said. Well, Teresa, it was nice dating you, but I don't think we can hang out long. I needs to find out what kind of parent you've been and whether or not you co-parenting with another crazy person whom I'm never going to be able to have any relationship with these children, because he's going to try to monitor that in a way that's going to be restrictive for me developing a relationship with them. But I should be aware children exist up front. I agree, LaShawn. LaShawn says, sir, ma'am, I'm teasing, but I love you. But as Herbert Holmes would say, there's some truth in every joke. So yeah, I think 2 years is too long, Teresa, for me. I know you don't want to let anybody around your babies, but it might benefit them to develop a relationship, because after 2 years, when he proposes to marry you, are you going to say yes, or are you going to say, let's just meet the kids first? Of course, I'm concerned that he will wait 2 years to propose to marry a woman like you who can play all bases. But if you wait until 2 years to marry him, I think I want to know the kids. Commingling of funds. Marriage is a discussion topic, frequently long term. Well, I don't know I'm going to commingle my funds with you, Tanisha, and I haven't met your children. I just don't know that I would do that. We're not commingling funds unless I know, are these Bebe or Bebe's kids? I need to know that. What am I putting my money with? Yeah, 2 years is long. Teresa, I agree you're worth the wait, but I know a man waiting 2 years is going to say, I'm marrying you and your children, but I haven't met them. Because they're going to be living in our home, and there are a set of things we should have had discussion with the other parent about that we haven't had a chance to. You know. Yeah, I don't think you commingle money. I'm with you, Teresa. Or the 2 years. I don't think you do those either. But I understand where you're coming from. But 2 years is long. And I agree. I don't think you commingle the money until there is a... Joanne Atkinson is here. Oh, I love you so much. Yes, Marcus, family outing first. Thank you. Until you marry them. Yeah, I think you don't commingle money until you are... about to be married and there's a prenuptial, or getting married where you're getting ready to sign a marriage certificate. I agree. You don't get joint accounts because you've been dating 2 years. You get joint accounts because you're engaged to be married and you have a prenuptial in case something happens before the marriage or something like that. And Bobby Gooley Watts' joint. Or you sign the marriage certificate and name changes are occurring. Okay, well, Teresa, we got you to the 1 year. I think that's still long. Not to meet kids, but again, if you bring a brother or sister who has kids and you bring them on a family kind of outing, I think you at least get to see them. What's up, good brother? I think you got to see how he handles children, especially if he doesn't have any of his own, or how she handles children if she doesn't have any of her own. So a year is a long time to me, but I understand there have been so many things that happen in this world to our children. So I can understand that. But if it's somebody that you're serious enough with to spend that kind of time, I think you do. We're at the 9 o'clock hour for 11 stuff. Now, I know we start small with a gym membership or a Costco card. Tanisha, I'm not feeling any of that, but I'm with you. I'm with you. I'm not for commingling funds unless there is some serious reason. You can have your own membership and he can have his own. It's not that serious. When it's serious, you should be getting married. You should be shaping up your finances to join with his. 2 holes make a 1, and they make a 1 at marriage. Derek Thomas has joined us, and we're at the top of the 9 o'clock hour, and we're getting ready to round it out. Thank you, Lori Wesby, for that laugh. Cheryl Spiker Conneal says, but does meeting the kids for the first time equate to that person being the one? It does not. It does not to me. I just know that people have great caution, Cheryl, around introducing people to their kids for a plethora of reasons, right? But to me, I want to see the interaction and reaction that this person has with kids before it goes to the next level, right? I think you need to see that reaction that she has with kids. If she's like, which is, I was very, very, very interested in a coworker at a company. Took her out several times, and I talked to my boss about, if I married somebody who worked here, would you expect me to resign? She said, no, but you can never supervise her, and blah, blah, blah. And I found out that she told me something that wasn't true. She did not want children. But she pretended to like kids. What she was really doing was tolerating kids until I found out she really disliked kids. I would have been pissed off to the highest atmosphere had I spent tons of money and energy into a relationship only to find out she don't even want kids. Because you would have been needing, Tracy Green or Kimberly Hall Wagner would be defending me in court. Why did you take that woman out of this world? And you found out that she was on birth control, because I know I'm Abraham and I got a lot of rams. And so we couldn't get pregnant, and I find out she on birth control, and I snap. That's my story. I'm sticking to it. Now, why I'm going through all that? When you could have just told me from the jump, I don't want kids. Bing, bing, bing. No need to continue this. That's how I feel. I don't believe in birth control. It's for those that believe in it, or those that don't want to get pregnant, or those that don't want to get caught. Listen, I've tried for 47 years in whatever way not to get caught if I was going to get caught. If I'm married, I'm getting caught. I'm going to get caught. She going to get caught. Catching is what happens. That's what's going to happen. So that's what happens. If I wait a year, I'm going to be a little upset. So I'm not going to wait a year. I'm going to, after about 2 months, say, hey, do you want more children? Can I meet your children? Let's go on a family outing. I'd like to meet your children. Because if there's a baby daddy and he doesn't want any other man in their life, I'm the kind of man that if I'm marrying you, I'm in part marrying your children. And if they're going to live in our household, we're going to have to discuss with baby daddy the rules that we have in our house about how we rear children. Because now I'm part of the equation of rearing children. And I'm up to the task of that. But I need to make sure I'm clear on what I expect, and make sure the baby daddy is clear, and make sure you're clear. And that's if this is going somewhere. I don't need to have their cell phone numbers as kids. I don't need to take them to school and drop them off or go to their games. But I want to see how the interaction works. We interact and the kids say, he mean. Or we interact and say, they're unruly. This is going to be an uphill battle. That's something I want to know before I invest a lot of time. Some people want, you can't know my kids. I don't want to know your kids, like rock them to sleep or what time they go to bed or go to their games, pick them up. But I do want to see their faces and see their spirits and see what kind of children they are. Tanisha said, but you're not doing that for any boo-boo kitty. You're going to have to, I'm slow. I don't get all your phrases. I don't intend in my 30s, 40s, 50s to date somebody that's a boo-boo kitty. So if I were the kind of guy that wanted just friends with benefits, no, I don't want to meet the kids. I don't want to meet the kids. If this was a purely sexual relationship, there's no reason to meet the kids. But I'm wondering, why are we having just purely sexual relationships if we have kids? Eloquent Weaver joined. Thank you, doctor. Bobby Gooley says some of these kids act like nigglets. That's true, but I want to know what I'm dealing with. Because if I'm going to marry mama, then I'm going to have nigglets children in my home. And if they got a niglet baby daddy, we need to come to terms about what discipline and all of those things look like for the kids. And because a dad might say, I don't want him saying to my kids what they should do. But if they're living in my house and I say lights out, everybody goes to bed, that's what happens. Catching is what happens. Lori, you know what I meant. You know what I meant. Lori, you're a beautiful woman. If we weren't just friends, because you can bake, you can cook, you got a job, you're intelligent, you're funny as all get out, If we decided to hook up, and as much as I love you, after a year, I'm like, now why isn't Lori pregnant and nothing's wrong with her? Because ain't nothing wrong with me. So why is she not fertile myrtle? And he said, oh, I forgot to tell you, I'm still on birth control. And then next week, your pastor Benjamin Small says, Lori's been missing for several days and her husband just doesn't know what happened to her. No. We're not using birth control once I'm married because there is no need for it. And I'm 47, so I don't want to be playing ball at 72. We gon' yeah. Yes. Yes. Yes, ma'am. Yes, sir. Kenyatta Roxanne says you would have a sex-only relationship when you have kids because you only want grown-up time, but not a family would do. No, Kenyatta, no. You should have sex with a man you intend to marry. Now, I know everybody in agreement with that, and you don't have to be. That's just my perspective. You can have as much sex as you want, and you might not think that connects you in some way to this man. That might prohibit you from having connections with the right man. I just happen to believe that. So you can have grown-up time without there being sex. And if sex is required, you should probably look about taking it to the next level. That's what I think. Now, of course, there are a lot of people that do sex friends with benefits all the time. Don't beat my kids. Something happens where you're having friends with benefits, and then he's like, I don't want friends with benefits no more. And you're like, that's all I want. That could happen. I just am not a big proponent of that. It always tends that someone wants something more out of the relationship after a while. I waited till my sons were raised to accountability to date. Okay. Thank you for that. Cheryl Swacker Cornell says, and please stop introducing these fellas to your babies as uncle. Yeah, no uncles. I'm not uncle. Because why is uncle kissing you and squeezing your booty? Because he ain't your uncle. There is no need for birth control if married. People are on birth control, Tasha, who are married. There are people who do that. I'm not a proponent of that. I'm not knocking what they're doing because it may be working for them. It would not work for Marcus Holmes. I'm just saying. Oh, okay, Kenya, you were just giving a reason. Okay, I understand. Once we meet each other's kids, we're moved from high to being integrated into their lives. I don't agree with that. I expect to attend events for him and to come too. We're not just high and by. You don't get to meet my kids because you like me. I disagree with that, Tanisha. I think one of the considerations that I'm going to make for a woman who has children is whether or not I'm going to be able to build relationship with the children. It's a lot of an investment for a man when a woman already has children. Would be the same for a woman with a man that already has children. You need to determine whether or not there's going to be able to be a successful blending of that family. And that's a consideration before going to the next level, to me. Jeanette Richardson joined, thank you. Teresa Smith said, please stop. I'm not sure, but she was telling me to stop. I agree, I was married. Okay, Tasha Robinson. Yes, Tanisha, this you know I am funny. Couples have to discuss what's best for them. I agree. Well, we're at 9:10, which is taking this love and stuff long beyond. And I need you to do a couple things for me. I need you to share this video with at least 2 people who you think could benefit from love and stuff. Share it with many more, but at least 2. I need you to inbox me with topics or text me with topics. Somebody texted me today with a topic. That was great. Or inbox me with topic ideas. And while you're inboxing, give me feedback. Is it too long? Marcus, you had technical difficulties too often. You're trying to introduce everybody. Let that go. Whatever you think will make this a better platform. And I am trying to build a platform. A platform where people can come and talk about love and stuff. Really, I believe that if you understand and accept the love of God, because God is love, it gives you the opportunity to identify yourself, the love that's within you, so that you can love yourself. And that has to happen before you love anybody else. But God's commission, I think, for us is to go into the world and share his love. And we've shared so many other things. But I think if we want peace and joy and trust and tranquility and all of the things in life that are good and positive and lovely, we got to first get the love right. And all of these other things will come into alignment. God has designed for you a love that you should have internally that then goes externally. And so you got to line up with him first. And if we could just carry that message in our everyday lives and throughout the world, I think our young men who are on my heart today, our young women, our young people, older people, seniors who have lost and been forgotten, all of these people need to experience the powerful presence of God's love in their lives. And if we could just be an agent of love, it'll make a better world. I'm going to be debuting a t-shirt very soon, and I want you to give me some likes if you would be buying that t-shirt, if it's economical, if it's not too much. And would you wear it during the summer and evoke conversations about love? When you're seeing someone that's doing something that doesn't seem to you to demonstrate that they are about love, I would love for you to share this t-shirt with them. Can you give me some likes if you'd be willing to consider purchasing a love? And so there you have it. That is from the vault. And we will be continuing conversations around navigating love, not always with baby mama or baby daddy, but there's so many aspects, so many variables, so many factors that we have to consider as we navigate love. And in navigating that love, consider what Beatrice said earlier, the vertical relationship with love, which is God. He is love. And he intends for us to love him with all that we have, which is a commandment. And the second great commandment is like unto it, Jesus said, that we will love our neighbors as ourselves. So I submit for the Love and Stuff community that God's love, self-love, and love for others are all loves that we must navigate, that we must lean into, that we must be vulnerable to, that we must be awakened to before we can enable and empower those loves to transform the world around us. We're all about upping our love game. And I am very thankful for you joining in tonight. Before I go, I just want to remind you that the Gratefulness Journey every day is available. It is the book that I have authored. And in the next 60 days, all of the proceeds from the Gratefulness Journey every day are going to Autumn Nicole Davis. She is my niece who is like my daughter. And she has been accepted to the Thurgood Marshall School of Law in Houston, Texas. And I want to send her with everything that she needs. And so instead of those benefits, of course, would normally come to me, but I want you to purchase this book knowing that it's going to be helping a college student. It's going to be helping someone fulfill her dream of becoming a civil rights attorney to ensure that the marginalized and the underrepresented have fair representation. And I can't tell you how proud I am of Autumn. I don't have enough words to tell you. She is my love on wings, and she is soaring, and I am better for being an uncle dad. It has extremely blessed my life. So I wanted to go back and thank you, Tosh Crown Robinson, Michael Thornton. Thank you, Kim Carter Eastside. Thank you, Rashida the Glam Doctor. Thank you, Dolores Michelle Archibald. Thank you so much, Terry Farrelly. Thank you so much, Tiffany Funderburg. Thank you, Vivian Morrison. Thank you so much, Beatrice Lynette Woodward Hill. Thank you so much, Sandra Spencer. Thank you, Maxine McNeil. Thank you so much, Tamika Miko McMillan. Wow, long time no see. Thank you all so much for coming through. June Rochelle Eaton, all of you. LaShawn Rimmer Green. Just calling all of your names. I think it's important to do. And I know some people say, don't call my name. I'm calling it. Ingrid Poole, Sonia Sharice, some of our day ones that are here. Thank Thank you so much. I hope you come back again. Angie B, April Wilson, all of you. Thank you so much. Cree Baker, all of you. As we're getting ready to close out, I think it is a conversation worth having. And again, the Gratefulness Journey every day is available. All of the proceeds for the next 60 days go to help Autumn Nicole Davis in her journey to law school. She has been accepted to the Thurgood Marshall School of Law in Texas. So very proud of her. And I want to ensure that this future civil rights attorney has everything that she needs. So I'm giving the proceeds to her, and I hope that you will join me in that support. I want to also remind those of you that are singles that we have an Affirming Singles. If you scan that QR code, there are affirmations that we highly recommend that you do. Building that self-love is so important, because once you build that self-love, you emit some fragrance about your confidence and about your authenticity that will attract to you those that should be attracted to you. Have you ever felt that you were inauthentic? If you're inauthentic, you're giving off something that is confusing to people, and you're going to attract confusion. You're going to attract chaos. You're going to attract other things that are in alignment with inauthentic things and people. But when you are in the center of yourself, when you are in your passion, your purpose, and you got the right process for your life, and you're in that sweet spot of those three things that I just mentioned, when you are in that place, you are the most attractive that you can ever be. When you are being your authentic self and you are living in flow, meaning you are doing something that you love, it's meaningful to your life, and it's almost as if it's not work to you. When someone sees you doing that, you are the most attractive that you can ever be. Think about that for a minute. If you're not operating in your gift or calling or whatever life has called to you to be, and you are doing something else, it's off center. It almost doesn't fit. It's not in alignment with who you are. Until you get to the seat and sitting in the seat of who you are, the person that is watching you is getting confused messages about you, because you're really not being your highest expression of love that God created. You're not being your best self. But when you are, when you're that entrepreneur, when you're that teacher, when you're that attorney, when you're that homemaker, whatever it is, and you're in the flow of that, you are most attractive. And my goal is to help you to get to that place so that you can experience the kind of love. But it starts with you. It starts with you accepting and receiving the quintessential love. That is God, that vertical love you heard Beatrice talking about earlier. That's the first consideration. And then you have to delve deep into you, right? So that you become all that you have been called to be, and that you're sitting in the center of that. You're actually in the flow of that. You heard people say, go with the flow. I'm saying it a little differently. That flow is kind of a state. It's a psychological term in this regard, that when you are in flow, you lose track of time. You lose track of resources. You are just moving. And when you are in that place in your life, people recognize that, because you're just being you. When you're funny and you're just being funny, you're just being you. When you're being brilliant and you're just being brilliant, you're just being you. And you'll know it when someone says, they call your name, you're like, what? You're just being you. That's when you're most attractive to the person or persons that you should be attracting. And when you are trying not to be that, or you're trying to cover it up, you're sending confused messages to people. And so the goal is, married or single, to be the most authentic self, because your world is better when you are being your best you. And so that's a part of that self-love consideration. And those affirmations help you to build that as a single, if that is something that you're trying to do as a single person, to build that. And even as a whole married person, you could continually work on your wholeness so that two wholes continue to be one, right? You don't have to lose your identity. Your identity begins to evolve, yes, as a wife or husband, but you don't lose the person that you are, or lose the building that you should be, right? So you want to make sure that you are sitting in the center and nourishing the center of who you are. And thank you, Tiffany. I'm going to have to make you a moderator. I don't even think they let you do that like they do on the other platforms, but I'm gonna have to make you a moderator. This is excellent. Um, and so before we go, thank you, Erica Webb, for joining, and I hope you'll go back and watch from the beginning. I want to see if I can share with you just a couple quick things. It may let me share these things with you. Opportunities for you. Yes, absolutely, Tiffany. Absolutely. Okay, I'm trying to share this with you. School and slow. Okay, I'm going to invite you. Oh, there it goes. I wanted to just remind you that we do have Love and Stuff gear, and it is available. You can scan this QR code that I'm going to show you in a minute if you decide to, and purchase a Love and Stuff t-shirt, and it'll take you to the website. There are many other products there, so I'm not going to showcase them all before we go. It's 10:02. But I do want to showcase at least the Love and Stuff t-shirt. There's also my Love is Front and Center line, as well as we still have Love Over Racism line, all of these different opportunities for you that I want to share with you right as I'm doing that. And I want to share with you, this is our Love Front and Center. You know, one of our campaigns a while ago is getting people to be their authentic selves. So, kind of connected to our show, if you're a mother or father, single parent, or you are co-parenting and you have custodial, you're the custodial parent, or if you're a parent who's actively involved in your children's lives, your love front and center means that you're vulnerable to having someone else come into your life, but you let them know that the stakes are high of them coming into your life, and that at some future point, depending on how the relationship goes, that they may have the chance to meet those humans that you value most, your children. Your love is front and center when you're willing to wear your love up front and be seen for who you really are, knowing that there is a risk to showing people who you really are. It takes some courage to let your love be front and center, but it is truly the only way that you get the love that you deserve and desire. You can't get that love by closing yourself off and saying, okay, you'll never meet my children. You'll never become a part. You got to be open, cautiously optimistically open, but open to the potentiality that the man or woman that you meet might be the man or woman who you're going to wake up next to the rest of your life. And you got to be open to that reality. And if you're not open to it, as a matter of fact, the more that you're open to it, the more I think glaring the quintessential love will show you whether or not that person is the one. But you got to be open to it. It's when you're covered and covering your face and your eyes that you miss so many of the details. You miss the details when you kind of keep things close to the vest, because you attract deception when you do that. When your love is front and center, it doesn't mean that there won't be people that will try to deceive you. It means that you will be awakened to it. Your love front and center is attentive. It is sober. It is vigilant. It is searching like antennas or satellites for love. And it's aware that there's somebody in the sphere, in your space, that isn't authentic. When you're being authentic, the inauthentic is glaring to you. That's why we want your love to be front and center. So we invite you to get to support us in that. 35% of the proceeds go toward charity and to help other people. That's what we want to do in the Love and Stuff community. I also wanted to just share with you two other things. I don't know if the picture is coming up for me. Before I go, really quickly, we're at 10:06. We also have a group inside Love and Stuff that I want you to come and join. Inside Love and Stuff has about 70 members, and we get together on a 12-month journey just to increase the amount of love in the world. That's the ebook that we're using. For each month has a different focus. This month is all about treating yourself. And so our 12-month focus is about self-care, because we believe that the neglected love, now, The neglected love is truly God's love. Not enough of us are loving him. And if you're like me, you got to work hard on your love for him. My love for him is not perfect. But the neglected love is the self love, because we don't think about loving ourselves and taking care of ourselves. We think about loving our spouses, our children, our parents, our siblings, everybody else. But you need to pour from a full cistern, a full fountain, a full cup. And self care, we believe, is simply your love and gratefulness speaking to your own worthiness. It's speaking to your own worthiness. So join us by going to the Love and Stuff page under groups, clicking the Inside Love and Stuff group. There are a few questions we'll ask you to join. Come on and join that group and get your self care ebook and follow along with us. We're all on the journey together. I'm learning, everybody is learning. Last month, we learned so much about setting healthy boundaries. And so this month, we're learning about treating yourself. You deserve some treats. Now, you give other people treats, and some mothers got treats, but what about you treating yourself? And not just a moment away, build for you a life of caring for yourself. And then when you treat yourself well, you're going to be teaching others who are watching you how to treat you. Join us inside Love and Stuff. And lastly, if you didn't practice Lent and you still are trying to get stop living to eat, and you want to eat to live, Live It to Love ebook. It's just some tips that I've shared with people in the Love and Stuff community, and it has really been a blessing to them. It is a 31-day plan that you jumpstart your entire system and then add back in the things that you love. Some people have reduced their blood glucose. Some people have reduced their blood pressure. Some people have lost weight. Some people have gained energy. I am not a medical doctor, so I can't say that you will necessarily have those same results. But what I do know is that the things that I prescribed, that people went back to their doctors and shared with them, and the doctor says, you can continue on this. This is good. It is largely a vegetarian approach, but there are some meats and proteins that you get to have throughout the 31 days. And then you get to decide, okay, what do I want that to be for me? All right. All right. I wanted to just thank you so much for being here, all of you. And I hope you will do, we've asked you for a lot of things today to do, but among them, click share. Tag someone who is out there trying to navigate love, especially if it's a blended family situation or their children involved. Have them watch this and share in the comments. And we're a Love and Stuff community that we want to help people walk through the journey. So you got somebody they're struggling through it. We want to help them navigate that. Tell them to inbox us at the Love and Stuff community. And we want them to become part of our community so that they can up their love game. I think it's important that you and I up our love game. And what we mean in the Love and Stuff community by that is that the amount of love that you have for God, for yourself, and others needs to increase. All three of those need to increase. All three of those need attention more than what we're giving them today. And if in any of those you feel as if you could give more and want to give more, then the Love and Stuff community is the place for you to be. The world is so filled with negative stuff. We're seeing violence. It's not that we're surprised, because if you follow biblical teachings, you understand. But it does not lessen the impact that it tends to have on people to see the things that are happening in the world. And so we don't really need another news outlet to tell us that our Black boys are being arrested and killed and beaten, though we need to be mindful of those things, and we need to take action through our love for justice. We don't need someone to tell us, put some rumors out about Jamie Foxx, prayers up to him, what his status is. We know that God can heal him fully. We don't need another news outlet for that. But we do need someone saying that love is still the order of the day. What the world needs now is more love. And the only way it's going to get it is if you and I up our love game and encourage others to do the same. I'm Marcus Holmes, and I appreciate you for joining me. I hope you will click share, tag 5 of your closest Facebook friends, YouTube subscribers, followers on Twitter or Twitch TV, 5 of the more popular ones to join in this discussion so we can all up our love game, navigate this thing we call love, and live the best life possible. Thanks for joining. Click share. I appreciate you. Tiffany, I love you too. Please come back. Please share. Thank you for sharing with so many people. I love watching your love from the distance, and I'm loving it. And I want to maybe have you and your mister come on, because I think you having a blended family, this topic, there's so many people that are turning themselves off, Tiffany, for the opportunity of love because kids are involved. I think if you navigate it right, it might be the best love and the best thing that ever happened. So please share widely. Love you much. Have a grateful evening. We'll see you soon.
Born and dead, saved by love, count my blessing from above.
Marcus, I want to congratulate you on Love and Stuff. I really want you to know that staying grateful and understanding the power of what it is to be operating out of a space of abundance and gratitude is the most important part of every journey of every day. So Marcus June, congratulations on this book. It's on Amazon now. That makes me so proud of you and your family and me and my family, and every single person around us gets it. So good on you for bringing it into the hands and the laps and the Kindles of all the people. Okay, so we're going to check it out. Can't wait to learn more.
Welcome to Powerful Money Tools, LLC. At Powerful Money Tools, we are here to prepare for your future. We want to talk about financial freedom. Financial freedom is budgeting, credit building, and also financial education. So once again, welcome to Powerful Money Tools, LLC. We can't wait to help you in your financial future.
Hi, my name is June Rochelle, and I own Detroit Couture. We are a fashion-forward women's boutique, and we offer friendly sizes from small all the way up to 3X women's sizes, very generously fit, very great quality. I actually have on one of our pieces today. It's called the Cuffed Up. It's in gray, burgundy, and black and olive, and it actually has a lot of stretch and give. So listen, in this time, we try to make sure that, first of all, it's quality and customer service that we offer our clients. And I'm so glad to have this opportunity to share with you. So go and visit us at DetroitCouture.com.
Do you have a birthday, anniversary, or special event? If so, the team at Blush Design Group is here to help you make it magical and make your guest stand or sit in awe. Blush Design Group takes the preparations off your shoulders, but never out of your hands. Here at Blush Design Group, let us make your dreams come to life.
What you wear says something about you, about who you are, what you believe, and what you stand for. So here in the Love and Stuff community, we wear the brand that we live, and we live the brand that we wear
because we love the brand. It's all about increasing the amount of love in the world and upping our love game. And if that's what you're about, you should wear it too.